And so this Bitcoin ETF is coming exactly as you suggest at the right point for all of these things. And if it plays out like it has done in the past, and there's no guarantees of that, then generally speaking, you will start to attract a lot of new capital into the space. That's always been the case. So currently in crypto, there's 516 million wallets, but they grow at about 100% a year. So if that's right, we'll grow by another 500 million wallets somewhere between 2024 and 2025. And that's a lot of new capital. It's a very big deal. It's come at exactly the right time. And then the market will start focusing on the ETH ETF.
Yeah.
Which, by all accounts, seems like there's a reasonable probability that's going to come.
About a dozen companies, including BlackRock, Fidelity, and Grayscale, sought to create Bitcoin ETFs. In recent days, they've announced and, in some cases, slashed the fees they plan to charge investors, suggesting a fierce battle to win investors' money is ahead. These are spot ETFs, meaning they hold Bitcoin itself, versus the already approved Bitcoin futures ETFs, which hold derivatives contracts tied to Bitcoin. The green light from the SEC follows many years of delays and outright rejections of numerous attempts to launch spot Bitcoin ETFs. It also comes just a few months after the agency was handed a resounding loss in court. The D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals in August ruled the SEC was arbitrary and capricious in its decision to reject Grayscale's attempt to convert its roughly $26 billion Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, into a spot ETF. Raoul Pal, macro investor and crypto maxi, discusses the ETF approval and its impact on the crypto world. He points out that the ETF is not just a win for the crypto community, but also for the fiat world as well, as they would have the opportunity to be part of something as grand as crypto. Let us now get into the video properly. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your comments below.
We've been building this new digital world, this parallel kind of financial system. Let's call it crypto land. And then we've got fiat world, which is the existing world that we live in. Most of the world's liquidity and money exists in fiat land because it's much bigger than crypto land. Now, what this ETF is basically a trade deal between these two countries. So people in fiat world can now go and invest in this new country easily. What it's then is a factor of, like with all trade deals, is will my return on capital be higher by investing in this emerging market versus in my domestic economy? Now, if we look at last year's price performance and typical annualized price performance of crypto over time, taking into account it has huge cycles, the Bitcoin economy grows at kind of 100% a year. So in which case, there'll be a lot of money coming from fiat world into crypto land. Another way of thinking about this is, okay, that's great. So it's likely to attract a lot of assets over this cycle. And a lot of assets will wash out when suddenly the returns aren't as good anymore. So we will see that. The other way you can think about it is we are IPOing Bitcoin. And we've all been seed investors or Series A, Series B, Series C investors. And we're now about to go to the big stage. And, many of us are kind of used to recent years where, generally speaking, IPOs haven't done great. But this is early cycle. There's not much investment in this space yet from fiat world. So the chances are we're going to attract a lot of assets. So short term, don't really know. It's not really my area of interest.
Yeah.
What my area of interest is could this attract 10 billion, 50 billion over time of new capital into this emerging market of crypto land? And the probability is pretty high because, a lot of people are looking for higher return opportunities. You can see it by the amount of activity that goes on platforms like eToro, in things like Tesla and other technology stocks, right? People are searching out the risk curve because a lot of people are 401k investors in the US. So they invest in their pension, but then they also like to have other assets that maybe have a different risk reward profile. So over time, I think it's very, very positive. It just opens up to more people. Those of us who've been in crypto a long time know how difficult and painful it is to open a wallet, execute your own trades, do all this thing, think about self-custody. Now, platforms like eToro have really helped people onboard and get comfortable with this, but this makes it even easier.
Advocates for a spot Bitcoin ETF have long argued that a regulated trading product focused on the world's oldest cryptocurrency would allow institutional and retail clients to gain exposure to Bitcoin's price movements without requiring them to set up wallets or otherwise directly invest in the digital asset. ETF shares, for example, will be available to any U.S. investor with a brokerage account. When asked about his narratives for the 2024 bull run, Raoul Pal calls out various sectors where he sees liquidity pouring into and how one can leverage that information and make the most of it. He also talks about NFTs, stating that while they may look dead now, they have the probability of a rally once the prices come back up. Let us now hear Raoul Pal's picks for the 2024 bull run.
As I've coined it, the everything, everywhere, all at once cycle. So most of the key technologies have been in place for a while now.
Yep.
In terms of the applications layer, but it's the adoption of the applications layer, the adoption of NFTs by giant corporate brands, the adoption of blockchain rails for a whole bunch of different things, from traditional finance of putting, equities or derivatives or whatever on chain. I think that is coming. I think we're going to see, with stuff like Solana being able to create 1 million NFTs for $100, well, that means ticketing or any high frequency contractual stuff can happen. We're seeing Visa build on top of that. We're seeing massive speed increases again in Solana, where we've got Fire Dancer that has 1 million TPS. So that means high frequency trading can happen. So, new centralized exchanges and the rails for the finance system, okay, that can go on chain. We're seeing large corporate brands building using NFTs and other Web3 technologies. We're seeing the adoption via RAAs and the ETFs and other things. So we're seeing a lot in the space. And I think that continues. I think the other thing we all see is gaming. We've all been waiting for the gaming to meet Web3, and we're seeing quite a lot of evidence that is on its way. We've got blockchain meets AI for authentication of who we are. We're about to go into an election in the US. And in fact, we're going through like 60 elections around the world. We've never gone through an election with AI. And the deep fakes driven by AI will mean you can't trust anything you see in the wild. Yes, you're on the eToro platform watching something. Well, it's authenticated by eToro. You go outside, you don't know whether an interview you're watching of you and me is actually the real interview. So I could be saying crazy things and everyone thinks, well, this was a real interview, right? This is a huge problem. How do we authenticate who humans are? How do we authenticate content? And I think blockchain is part of that. So I see the opportunity for that as well. In terms of NFTs themselves, we're going to see a lot more use cases come. It's not just about your monkey JPEGs. But NFTs at the high quality asset side, we're talking about Beeple or Xcopy and these kind of famous artists that are very expensive. This thing trades exactly like assets do in fiat world. So in fiat world right now, the economy's slow, and the assets that require disposable income, trophy assets, lag because nobody's got any money yet. And so if you look at the price of Rolexes, you look at the price of wine, you look at the price of used cars, look at the price of art, it's all been going down because nobody's got any real money yet. Yes, the stock market's gone to new highs, but most people haven't participated. Everyone's businesses are still a bit slower than they want them to be, etc. It's exactly the same with NFTs. NFTs lag the price because really they start taking off when the price goes back to all-time highs. And people are like, oh, look, I've got money. I want to go and buy a CryptoPunk because I've got one in the background, because it's a social signaling status. It's a luxury good in crypto land, much like a Rolex watch is a luxury good in fiat world. So I just think it's lagged. And, I think prices have started stabilizing a lot of the NFT market. A lot of it will go to zero. But out of the, ashes, we will find diamonds in that dust. And I think, there's a lot, that it's only gone through one cycle ever. So we need to figure it out. But yeah, I'm very bullish NFTs, the right ones.
As crypto proponents go into a celebration frenzy over the historic approval of spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETFs, on January 10th, there's one X user who has been radio silent on the platform. Over the past day, tens of thousands of crypto X users have flooded the platform, celebrating the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs. The hashtag Bitcoin ETF is trending on X, while the search term Bitcoin ETF reached a maximum score of 100 on Google Trends. Many crypto X users have described the day as historic. A total of 11 issuers received their approvals to list and trade their Bitcoin ETFs on United States exchanges. This is a big deal, but keep in mind it almost didn't happen, wrote Coinbase Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal, adding that Grayscale's pushback against the SEC was key in getting the ETF approvals over the line. SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce offered similar sentiments in her official statement on the matter as well. But one party has been pretty silent on the matter, despite being a regular poster on X. The X account SEC Government, owned by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, hasn't posted anything since confirming its account was compromised on January 9th, which came after a bungled tweet about Bitcoin ETF approvals. The SEC Government X account was compromised, and an unauthorized post was posted. The SEC has not approved the listing and trading of spot Bitcoin exchange-traded products, read the contents of its last public message on Tuesday. However, this hasn't stopped CryptoX from tagging SEC government in a tidal wave of posts, ranging from posts concerning the more intricate details of the approval process to lashing the regulator for its glaring incompetence in handling the security of its account. The SEC's post about its account hack now stands as the most liked post in the account's history on X, racking up more than 18,000 likes and 8.1 million impressions. Other big names, including one of the ETF issuers themselves, took the opportunity to generate some traction on the back of the announcement. The official X account for Franklin Templeton, an issuer that had its ETF approved today, updated its logo with a pair of laser eyes, a symbol used by Bitcoin advocates on social media to demonstrate an ideological alignment with the asset. Bloomberg ETF analyst James Seyffart said it's likely the ETFs will be live for trading as soon as January 11th. Do you think this is the real start of the bull run, or do we have to wait for the Bitcoin halving as well? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, don't hesitate to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.
Hey Savvy Finance enthusiasts, massive shout out for being the heartbeat of Savvy Finance. Your support has been the wind beneath our wings, and we can't express our gratitude enough. Now buckle up because we've got an exclusive deal just for you. Ever wanted a slice of the action? We're offering a golden opportunity to own part of our YouTube channel's potential future revenue. This isn't just an investment, it's an invitation to be a part of our story. Investing means you're not just an investor, you will be a participant in the future of Savvy Finance. No cheesy lines, just a genuine call to embark on this journey together. But wait, there's more. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, become a Savvy ambassador. Share our videos on every platform: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Your shares amplify our visibility, potentially translating to more views and more YouTube revenue. Here's the kicker. If our viewership increases, we would not be just growing financially. We would be making a tangible impact by spreading valuable financial education. Now the icing on the cake. Invest and you'll score exclusive access to our private Savvy Finance Discord. Here you can chat with Savvy Finance, swap ideas with fellow investors, and be at the forefront of exciting developments. Click on the link below to register your Gigastar account. You can also find the link to my offering page in the description below. Get your Gigastar account ready, review the offering details, and let's embark on this thrilling venture together. To the incredible Savvy community, thank you for being the backbone of our success. Your journey is my journey, and together, we're creating waves. Cheers.